Welcome along back to RPL once again. It is round number 4 of the F2 season for Season 18. Action. We are here in Singapore for the Grand Prix. A sprint race and a feature race to take us along at the newly vamped Singapore circuit in Marina Bay. Last week, our 5th and 6th different winner of the season, Annex and Bourbon. Annex, one of the first-time winners in RPL. Bourbon getting his 2nd win in this game cycle. 6 different teams have won now. And with the standings, Ads leads Bourbon by 3 points, with Beatnik 26 points behind, and Mythic, he's 36 points behind. A lot to come for in today's race with VAR. They're leading the constructors' standings. They only have 1 car in, but they're 6 points ahead of ART, who in fact have both cars in. MP, they're 11 behind. They have both cars in. And then Carlin only has their 1 car, and they're 18 points back. So now it's time for things to get kicked underway. So I'm your commentator, Ryan Ocon. It's glad to have you all join us. Let's go over some penalties and headlines when we're about to get things underway in just a moment. I think we have all our penalties and headlines already up here. Speaking of things in the season, we have quite a few things going on. We have 6 different winners, 6 different teams who've won. We have all but 1 team who has got a podium. We have a total of 3 drivers who've got more than 1 podium. And you want to talk about total different drivers who've got a podium. We have 12 different drivers who have had a podium in the season of F2. Speaking of Carlin, now they have both drivers in here with Beatnik and Scyther. Good to have them in the lobby and join us. 15 drivers ready to bring the action. Let's go over our headlines, our changes, our penalties to be served, all that good stuff that we talk about before each race that gets everybody hyped up and gets everybody focused back on the league. This time in Singapore, we are here for the first time since the circuit changed. There are sections of Sector 3 that are altered compared to the last time that we were here in RPL, let alone the last time most leagues were here in Singapore. This track has been changed for temporary. It's all in the last sector. 2 chicanes removed, a straight, potentially more overtaking. Could be a lot more overtaken in F2 than we'll see in F1 today. However, we have qualifying underway with some rain first. Well, that will be interesting. Before that, speaking of qualifying bans needing to be served today, we have Wavy Knife and Gagi with qualifying bans. Gagi for penalty points, Wavy for the previous seasons. He's having to serve a qualifying ban in order for him to race because of actions from previous seasons. Annex is in the MP full-time. Liam is now a reserve. And Reese, this is his first F2 start in a seriously long time. 125th F2 start. And this is his last full-time season in F2, back in Season 6 RPL. And it is absolute monsoon conditions here in Singapore. We're going to watch the drivers go on board here for the qualifying lap. Surely the lap time we're going to get here is over 2 minutes. No doubt in my mind about it. We're going to go on board with our current Tier 1 championship leader, Reese Dainty. Reese Dainty's making his first F2 start in a long while. I want to say it was Season 6, but I don't think it was because I think that he made a start in between then. I want to say the one at Abu Dhabi where he was talking about he won, but his last full-time season goes back to Season 6, and it's now his 125th F2 start. Oh, it clunks the wall. Oh boy, that's not good. He does not have damage though, but these conditions are absolutely tricky. You see what your Tier 1 championship leader has happening. Well, he's got his Tier 1 championship rival in this race. Scyther, who won the F2 title last season, now has got both him and his teammate up there in the top 3. Not only that, but also the fact that him not racing this season definitely puts a question mark on what will happen the rest of the season. This is round 4 of the season. 71 points at the top of the table. We could see a 7 different winner here in F2 today. Sector split. It's a 125-2. Remember, the F2 cars are a lot more slower than your usual F1 cars. Then you add the factor of rain into it. We're surely going to get a 2-minute lap time here. And here's the rebranded section in Singapore around this corner. And out of the straight, and now to the chicane. Scyther currently leading the charts. He had the most poles last season, took the championship last season, 5 wins to his credit, 10 podiums to his credit. He's battling Beatnik back for the top spot. He slides to the line. It will be his teammate Beatnik, but Scyther gets a 1-2 for the team. Carlin on pole position. Beatnik becomes the 3rd different driver to take pole position this season. Excuse me, I think Beatnik might be the 4th different. Either way. First for Carlin. And here's your qualifying order. You have Beatnik ahead of Scyther. Francie's right behind. Francie's coming back from his race ban. Choco's right there as well. Top 4 quite close in wet conditions. Then you have Reese, Mythic, Annex, Titan, Wiseau, and Liam, who's 10th. Who will be starting on the sprint race pole position. Speaking of drivers inside that top 4, Choco returned to the podium last week. First time since season 16, round 9 in Mexico. So he's got a lot of good things going for him as well. Look at Carlin with their strong lineup with Scyther and Beatnik. They might be 4th in the championship, 18 points back, but still could score a lot today. And the fact of the matter is, there are 3 different teams in F2, Prima, Dams, and Carlin trying to go for a 6th Constructors title. So Reese, a previous champion in this race. Beatnik on pole, previous champion. Scyther, a previous champion, in 2nd. Francie won his first race last season in the penultimate round. A lot of good things happening in this field today with the 16 drivers we have. Daytime for Singapore, and really, you could call it dusk time. Here come the 5 red lights for the drivers. It's lights out, and away we go. Liam leads him off the line quite well. He's going to have his teammate Titan, who's got a really good start to challenge there. Then to turn 1, Titan can't make anything of it. Liam's going to keep the lead there. Side by side for 3rd place. Mythic and Annex going to go wheel to wheel. Annex took his first win last week in RPL in his first start. He's going to try to find up the order and get a 2nd one today if he can just get past Mythic. Side by side between them here as we head to the ending bits of Sector 1. They keep it wheel to wheel. Annex around the outside. Still can't get through. Mythic's going to challenge back. Here comes Choco. Here comes Reese. Scyther getting up the grid. Beatnik can't really find any spots to the field, but there they go. Side by side into Sector 2 here between Mythic and Annex. Choco wants his nose in there. Reese gives him a tap into turn number 7. And they all now go single file for the most part, but however, we have Reese trying to look on the inside of Choco. We have Goggy and Francie side by side, and that is Francie into the wall. Potential contact from Goggy. Man, he's going to have to recover for the feature race now because his sprint race hopes are surely almost over. Ads trying to charge back up the field from starting back there. He's side by side with Francie. Ads has to back out of that one. That got tight, and now they all go single file. Oh, that is Ads going wide, and you can see on the inside line. Whoa! That's Wiseau coming to collision. I believe that was a dive bomb from maybe Florian. He has damage, so it very well could have been. Now Annex challenging Titan. 2nd place in the road. Annex sends one, but he goes really deep. Annex comes out ahead, though. He might have to give the spot up, considering that he got out ahead. He does, but he comes back ahead, bangs wheels with Titan. Now Mythic wants his chance. They're going to have a little bit of luck for 3-wide action as Liam leads the first lap here out of 12. And Florian gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. There's Mythic on the inside line on the curb, getting bunched in right there. You see on the outside line, that's Choco going through. Choco trying to hang his nose in there, trying to get ahead. Can he stay ahead, though? Yes, he can. Choco does get the spot over Mythic, and now Mythic's going to switch him back. How about the switchback of dreams that you could just ask for? Mythic on the inside line now. It'll be Choco over the inside line for the next corner. However, Mythic, still with the momentum, charging back at this. Can he take the spot? They're going to be wheel-to-wheel again. They bang, and Choco forces him out wide. Now Scyther wants his chance. Scyther with the cutback. Scyther going to try to go for the spot. Outside line this time on Mythic. He's gained a ton of spots. Look at the amount of spots gained from Scyther. 3 spots. 3 for Goggy. 3 for Choco as well, and 2 for Annex. Oh, almost contact right there. There definitely was with the wall. And Mythic squeezes with Scyther. You just can't go side by side there, and somehow they did. Florian with a penalty. In front of that, Choco now putting a lot of pressure under Titan. It is all kicking off here in the sprint race. Is trying to find your way up on the grid. You need to do so quick enough, because look at the gap Liam has over Annex. Beatnik gets FBL. FBL having the most consecutive starts here in F2. And Choco now heating up Titan for a move. He faked him, it looked like. Scyther goes through a Mythic, but they come together. Mythic into the wall. And they're still side by side. Mythic around the outside. Can he keep it? He's got Reese there for company. Reese on his tier 1 rival was looking for a move, couldn't do it. Now back down the inside of Mythic, and that's Florian, who's retired. And this brings out the virtual safety car. His hopes come dashing down. And oh, was that a brake check there under the safety car? Mythic and Reese right there came together. And you also saw Guggy was, I guess, trying to overtake Reese right there, but nothing from it. And Wiso is out. Wiso has had internet issues, comes back in and retires. So with the virtual safety car being out, now we look to the restart in just a moment. And Scyther's got to drive through. Oh my god! That is extremely crucial for this race. He goes wide. There's contact with Mythic and Goggy, both. And in front of that, there's contact with Choco and Titan. However, 3 wide here for a moment. Goggy shoves his way through on Scyther. Mythic gets the spot for now. Choco around the outside of Titan. It is all kicking off, and Choco slides, somehow doesn't get damage. You have Goggy and Scyther pinching one another. They exchange spots for the time being. How about Goggy charging back at this with Scyther having the drive-through penalty? Almost coming together, they do. Wow, this gets close between the both of them. Titan and Choco. Titan is ahead of Choco. That position is swapped with ease. However, Choco's going to challenge us back on the inside line. You don't usually see an overtake there, and when I say that, I mean absolutely never. And usually it comes to collision. How about Reese down the inside of Titan here? Scyther serves his drive-through. Goggy's ahead of Beatnik as well. Goggy trying to find some points on his name. More points than last time. He already has 1 points finished this season. Broke a points streak that he had of not scoring points. Now for the lead. DRS enabled. Annex following. Trying for a second win. Trying to become the first repeat winner of the season. I did say it was Bourbon last week who won his second race of the season. I was incorrect about that. And Beatnik putting up the fight to Goggy. Inside line. Gonna squeeze one another. Goggy gonna pinch him to the next corner. Goggy has the inside line. Francie wants his chance as well with a broken front wing. It's not completely off. It's just the end plate. So he might be okay. However, Goggy remains ahead. Reese now going to go put the fight to Choco, and head to the podium. Liam's doing a really good job here at Singapore to hang on for the lead at a track you really just cannot overtake at. Maybe a little bit more overtaking zones with what we've seen recently. However, will it be enough? Slipstream might do a little bit right here, but it's just going to block it with the dirty air coming. Here he comes, late on the brakes. Annex is able to brake a lot much more later than your race leader. Can he find his way past? Also in the background, Beatnik as well, going very wide and using the runoff, and is ahead of Goggy, but did he overtake off the track to stay ahead, as Beatnik does have damage? Now Francie and Goggy battling. Goggy ahead of Francie. That position is swapped with ease, it looks like. Fastest lap of the race, going to Choco. So Choco with a lot of pace there in the Prema. Prema have not had the best start to their season, considering they won the previous Constructors title last season over Searles, with a Searles leading this race, and a Searles trying to hang on. Here comes Annex a lot later on the brakes once again, heating up your race leader, Liam. Liam just going to have to hold on right here. Is Annex going to send one? No. But he does put a lot of pressure on Liam to force him into a mistake. However, here's Mythic on Titan. Mythic gets the move done for position. However, Liam caught in a little bit of a mistake right there, having Annex heat him up. Here's Annex once again, trying to find his way past for the race lead. And Liam does hold on, but the DRS going to help Annex this time here down the back straight. Is it enough? No. That's Mythic around. Mythic was running really well. He's dropped down the order and is outside the points. So now it's Beatnik who's going to put some of the fight on Titan. And here we go for the lead. Once again, Annex is a lot closer this time. Does he make the move? Yes, he does. He's down the inside. He sends one, though. Does he go deep in the process? No contest. Annex ahead of Liam. And now this invites Choco within DRS. And Liam going to actually challenge back at this. He does have a little bit of pace still left in that Searles to take the fight to Annex, but it doesn't look like it's enough. He just ran wide there. Not going to be enough. It could be between Choco and Annex now. With that being said, Beatnik again on the back of Titan. I look at some fellow friends like Crispy and Choco who, you know, have the chance to excel here in RPL. Crispy won his first race in the opening round at Qatar. Never won an RPL. Choco never won an RPL. Could win today if he could just find his way past Liam. That's this first target. Now, speaking of targets, Beatnik on the outside of Titan. And I'm sure Beatnik will not hear the Burger King theme song there as he goes past. And there's a crash. That's Blue Goggy around. Francie collected as well. I say the Burger King theme song because I know Titan likes to taunt Beatnik with it, but I think Titan's done taunting Beatnik there because Beatnik did get the upper edge. Little bit of fun between those two. Speaking of fun, how about fun for second place in this race? Choco sends one on the inside of Liam. He holds on to it, and Liam contests the place right there, backs out of it, and it goes to Choco for second place. Now he gets to fight toward the race leader of Annex. So Choco got his first podium last week since season 16, 2 seasons ago, round number 9 in Mexico. Now he can put the fight to his first race win. And Reese is right there on the back of Liam for a podium. Reese in a return to F2, still improving on those lap times. Personal best right there on that last lap for Reese. He's going to try to put the fight now to Liam. And can he do it? Can he do it in time to have a chance at Choco and Annex? It's funny because Reese didn't even know the format of F2 coming into this race. He's making a one-off start. And I guess you could say because of last week he's testing his internet. But with that said, it's funny because he does make the return to F2. He's asking me what the format is, and I'm like, well, that is kind of funny how you've not raced F2 that long and you're asking the format now. Oh, here we go. Titan defending on Mythic. Mythic gonna go the long way around. Titan gonna absolutely go deep, though. Can he hang on to the place in the process? I think he can. However, Mythic still looking for a way around. Can't do so. He's gonna have to switch back. Can't do it. Ads also on the back of these guys as well. Remember, look at the drivers that aren't here today. Bourbon, second in the championship, not here today. Very crucial, in fact. He's 3 points behind Ads, and Ads is in the last point spot. Also, keep in mind, Annex, his first starts, well, 7th in the points. A lot to gain there. Mythic, as well as in front of that, he's 4th in points. And most importantly, even in front of that, Beatnik. 26 points back on Ads. So, a lot to gain for in terms of the battles. Speaking of battles, the last point spots, 6th through 10th, it continues to heat up. And Titan under immense pressure. Here goes Mythic on the inside line. Can he get through this time? Usually you don't go wheel to wheel in that chicane. That's exactly why Titan backed out. Ads gets through as Titan continues to yield another place. And he might be passed by FBL right here. It was FBL and Titan for the longest time, I guess, holding the top 2 spots for most consecutive starts, but it is Titans, and crucial to this race, Choco lags out. Oh my gosh, that is absolute heartbreak for Choco, who was trying to run down your race leader of Annex, and that could be coming undone. Speaking of coming undone, how about Liam holding on to the podium? He's done an impressive job returning to RPL, dropped down to reserve recently. Now, he's trying to hang on to 3rd place, and he still might be able to do it with the lag out right there. Here's Ads and Mythic. A position on the road. Ads on Mythic once again. Is he gonna send it? He thought of it. You could tell he was really desperate right there to get by. Because if he does get by, he is able to hold off the charge of FBL and Titan behind that. With them very, very hungry for spots. And here we go. Liam on the back of Choco. Choco did receive another invite. So he should be coming back into the session soon. However, this is the best thing that could happen for Liam to hold on to the podium in his returning season to RPL. He only had a points finish so far to start the season. Now he's looking for much better. Here he goes. Looking now on Choco. He's inside of him. Still inside of him. And he can't get through. He's got a lot of pressure from Reese. And there you go. There's a penalty to Liam. So not crucial to this race. He's got to get that 3-second gap over Choco. And with getting that 3-second gap, he's got to make sure he has it on Beatnik. As Reese sends one up the inside. 3 wide for a moment. Reese goes through. Liam trying to switch back. Nothing made from it. And Blue Goggy, your second driver to be in the penalty box now. Wavy on Titan. And Wavy and Francie side by side. Francie gives him a little pinch, but it is Francie ahead. And we gave Choco an invite back to the session. I'm trying to connect back on my computer to see if Choco has said anything since. He hasn't. It was his power that cut off. That is why. Well, you know what? I don't know how much the 75% rule goes to F2, but he still could finish on the podium with that penalty. Or with Beatnik's gap, it really could be Beatnik. Look at that gap. Beatnik is under 3 seconds. So, Mythic leads a train with Ads and FBL in it. And you can see in the background, that's Francie trying to defend from Wavy. Almost to the pit wall right there. And Wavy still trying to find his way around. You got Titan in front of that. If something happens in front of Titan, Titan would be the first one to get to a point spot. So this is exactly why this battle is extremely crucial, especially if Choco does get a disqualification in the sprint race specifically for not completing 75% of the race. However, Beatnik does get through on Choco, and now sets his sights up for P3 on Liam. And behind that, Francie and Titan side by side between them. Francie gonna go ahead, Titan there. Around the outside still, oh, they lock wheels. Titan's into the wall. Wavy's down the inside now. Gonna try to put this fight 3 wide into this section. Usually never works, and somehow they remain wheel to wheel. I think Wavy let Titan go there as he realized he could have forced Titan into the wall. Titan does have damage already. Before that incident, whoa, Wavy locks up and almost goes into the back of Titan. Ad's now continuing to put some pressure on Mythic for the place. Mythic now with the penalty. That's crucial. He ran out wide there at turn number 14. Usually can get a penalty right there. It's become more common over the F1 games with track limits enforcing that. Exactly what I mean by first car outside the points could be right there. Francie is gaining on FBL, and look at that. He could be within 3 seconds if these two continue to fight. I really have to ask the question, are we seeing a new face with Annex and F2 here? I know it's an MP Motorsport 1-2, still a long way to the end, but I really have to ask the question, are we seeing a new face in F2 here with Annex coming to F2, winning his debut race, and then second weekend in F2, leading by a long margin, 3 seconds. I'd say it's a long margin for F2 from what we're used to seeing if it's not Scyther winning. I would say it's a long margin, actually. Speaking of that, funny enough, look at our winners in the last couple races. I mean, you've had 22 different drivers, though, score points this season. 12 different drivers on the podium. All teams have scored a point. 9 out of 10 of those teams in the podium. Titan, by the way, picked up a penalty. Blue Goggy onto a fresh set of tires. Ads thought of sending one, locked the rears, couldn't do it. I mean, look at Francie. Francie wanted his second RPL F2 start. I mean, Prema were the only team to have a 1-2 last season in F2. MP Motorsport, they're running 1-2 now with both their drivers. One's a reserve, one's now full-time. Look at that. Annex got put to a full-time seat in F2 and now is starting to prove himself, I would say. Mythic is through on Choco, and now Ads tries to get through. Final lap underway. I mean, VAR is the only team that has had a double podium this season, and now Francie picks up a penalty. Yeah, only team that's had a double podium this season, and speaking of that, I mean, that was a 1-3 or a 2-3. Either way, it doesn't matter. That was a double podium. Now you're looking at a 1-2, the second on this game cycle for RPL F2 action. Here we go. Ads still trying to find a way past, sends one down the inside, side by side between these two, Mythic and Ads. They remain side by side here. Can they keep it? Oh, Mythic almost squeezes Ads into the wall. And they still stay alive. Yeah, 11 different winners in the last 11 races. We're about to see a 11th different winner in 12 races. A repeat winner, excuse me, right there. Beatnik's still trying to heat up Liam. Liam has done a great job to hold onto the podium on track. However, the penalty comes at the expense of it. Francie gets a 5-second. I think he's just looking for a bit of fun here with FBL, trying to be within this fight. Wavy's in the back of Titan as well. This is a nice battle. This has been. Wavy's put up some very clean racing. Ads in the back of Mythic. We'll switch back to this battle in a moment. I was incorrect about Bourbon last week being the repeat winner. However, this time, it's not a mistake. And it's definitely not a mistake at all. A mistake-free race from Annex. A second win in RPL F2 in his second weekend of RPL action. Annex wins the Singapore Grand Prix, making it an MP Motorsport 1-2. Reese back on the RPL F2 podium. Beatnik back up there as well. He's third. A big collision at the line. Liam fourth. Adds to Chaco. Mythic FBL, your last points runners. Annex says, who cares? I've won the race. I'm going to destroy my car. And he literally has. What a race from him. Well, I will say there was a lot of talk in terms of the Red Bull Academy chat with Annex and Cookie. If Cryptic were to miss the race today, which there was a likely chance of that happening, should Annex deserve the Red Bull spot? He was questioning Cookie's ability there at Red Bull, funny enough. And with that said, I say that he was questioning his ability, saying that he could do better. Well, guess what? Maybe both of them can do just as well. And maybe Annex is really trying to prove that statement that he can do better than Cookie in terms of a Red Bull seat for a one-off. I'm really impressed with Annex. So start off RPL here in F2. His second weekend, he's a winner for the second time. First repeat winner. How about that? On the top once again. And our first repeat winner in 12 races. And our first repeat winner of the season. MP Motorsports. They have their second win. Wow. And here is your results. You have Annex from P4 on the grid. And look at this. Beatnik from P10 on the grid. Ends up on the podium. We've seen some very diverse spots on the grid to get a podium this season. We've seen drivers from P10. We've seen drivers from P9, P12, P13, P14, P15, P16, P1. I mean, we've seen it all. And last week, it was the feature race winner who was not from the front row on the grid. And that was Bourbon. That was the first time that's happened since I want to say before Qatar of last season, late last season. So it has been a while. And now we'll see what Scyther and Beatnik can do with starting on the front row there. Look at what he did in an AlphaTauri, though, Annex. I mean, just amazes me. It really does. Simply due to the fact that I'm amazed with it being his second weekend in RPL F2 action. Can't say all teams have scored a podium yet, guys, but there you go. It's our fifth different repeat winner for F123 F2 action in RPL. Here we go. Here we go for the feature race. The 5 red lights come on for the drivers. A chance to redeem yourself is underway. Beatnik leads them off with Scyther alongside. Scyther going to try to put the fight toward turn 1. He is ahead by a lot. Scyther ahead as they go 3 wide in the background. You got Franchi as well challenging Beatnik now for second place in the race. Reese as well is right there to follow in the background. And off, that's Florian. Off goes Florian. He has a bit of damage. And Waiso, something happened there to him. I believe he's not back in the session. Adds on the inside line now with FBL and Liam. There is contact. between the both of them. However, we switch back up to the top spots as Franchi tries to follow Beatnik for second place in the race. Does he send one? No, you can't do so from that far back. And have a Blue Goggy now sending one on Titan. Blue Goggy is through. Now Titan going to try to put the fight back to Blue Goggy. Technically, if we had Academies in F2, he would be his teammate right there, I guess. Actually, teammates from last season, if you think of things. But no Academies in RPL F2 this season. Morio flags for Florian. He continues to drop down in terms of time, and they all now remain single file. They all figure themselves out. How about Scyther, though, leading the charge over Beatnik by a comfortable margin. Let's take a look at our positions gained from lap 1 right there. 1 for Scyther, 1 for Reese, Mythic, and Enax. And Goggy has gained 3, as well as 4 for Ads. And how about Franchi also following Beatnik? Can he find the way past? Franchi's going to have a look, but he cannot make anything of it. I mean, these guys, with the gap Scyther's pulled out, they might need a miracle to catch Scyther. I mean, this is crazy. Look at that gap already. And now Beatnik struggling out of the final corners, trying to protect the spot over Franchi. He does remain ahead, but not without a fight. Oh, sliding is Reese. Luckily, keeps it out of the barrier, but he's going to lose some places. Oh my goodness. Reese is very lucky to keep that out of the barrier without a doubt. And in front of that, Franchi now heating up Beatnik once again. Franchi on the inside line of Beatnik. Here we go. He's going to send it. Can he keep it? Side by side. Beatnik goes onto the curb. It is Franchi ahead. And Florian looks to retire from this race, and he does. Here's Choco and Reese. Oh, Choco clumps the barrier. Reese trying to look back to the inside. Nothing made from it. It will be Reese who has to yield. And Blue Goggy as well. Fair play to him. He's had a decent start pace-wise. He follows within this train. I tell you, Blue Goggy does not have the racecraft, but when he has the pace, he really can put the fight to some of these guys. He just needs to have a bit more racecraft and get the old racecraft he had back to give a fight and get some more points finishes. It would be nice to see. Ads and FBL, they traded spots as well. Now they fight down the back straight here. DRS going to be enabled this time, next time by on this straight. Side by side once again. Luckily, nothing race ending, but there was a bit of banging for just a second. And now FBL inside line on Ads. Ads trying to follow on Titan, trying to find a way past. Remember, top 10 get points for the feature race. Different than the sprint. Oh, a little slide. It is FBL ahead, and now Liam trying to put the fight to Wavy here. Fastest lap there goes to Scyther, I believe. Yes, the only driver inside the 44s. No one even remotely close. Talk about a comeback. Well, he's made his comeback to F2, and he's not had the feature race, or sorry, yeah, sprint race that he would have wanted, but the feature race he does have is a lot more impressive. We come here later today for Tier 1, if you're wanting to tune in. So take a look at that. Either way. Choco on the back of Annex trying to heat him up for a spot. Ads with Titan, 9th place in the road. Ads does get ahead of Titan. FBL now looking to pull a switch back. Forces Titan into a mistake. And they still continue to follow in this DRS train. Remember, pit stops still have to happen. Scyther and Franchi on the fresh, super soft tires, so extremely obvious that they'll be a lot faster. However, with the gap they have, I don't even know if it will matter with Scyther ahead of the rest of the pack. I mean, he is really pushing. Oh, that was Blue Goggy there, almost coming close to the wall there at the final corner. FBL on Titan. FBL down the main straight ahead. Titan trying to find a way back past. Can't do it. Oh, you can't re-overtake him just yet. He's now going to have Wavy on the outside now. Wavy fighting at the back of this pack. Very nice battle here at the end of points. And in front of that, here goes Annex. Here goes Choco, also looking for moves to be made around the outside. Mythic does give Annex the squeeze, but nothing too severe. Choco now going to go around the outside on Annex. Can he hold it? They do pinch one another. They come close to the barrier. Nothing made from it. However, they are keeping it clean, but within aggressive range. Yellow flags. That is FBL and Titan. Titan is absolutely had his race come undone. Returning to the podium last season, looked like there was a possibility he could maybe make some more appearances with the runs he's had so far, but it has not been hopeful for Titan Iron Wolf. Here we go, continue to duke it out for third place. Wow, third place in this race. They're trying to find something on Beatnik, let alone to catch Franchi, because that's their only hope in terms of the tires dying. You can see those super soft tires dying in terms of tire length, tire wear. I mean, they've abused the tires, Franchi and Scyther, to where they really can't pull away now. They really can't. And with the reverse strategy from Beatnik and Mythic, they'll have the upper edge on Scyther and Frenchie, like I said, but with the gap there is right now, what does that matter? That's the concern there is. See two Red Bull livery cars in this fight. Two MP Motorsport cars running toe-to-toe. So it isn't just smooth sailing at all, whatsoever. Choco now really close to Mythic as well for position. He just can't find a way past. I know Choco would like to be back on the podium again for a second straight week. However, he might have to wait until pit stops to actually put that fight to them. They will cost each other a lot of time if they do put the fight to one another. But make your moves quick if you do put the fight to one another. That's what I gotta say. And here we go. Choco had a look there on Mythic. Nothing could be done about it because Choco holds on to 5th place. Can't get the move done on Mythic. Annex also heating up some pressure on the back of them. There was a move made there. I think that was FBL and Super Liam. You have the two teammates of Gagi and Ads close to one another now. And Choco looking. He's a little closer, but now might cost him the spot to Annex. Ooh, that got tight. Choco does run a bit deep, so Annex can come back at it. Is he close enough? The answer is no. More yellow flags at the back of the field. That is Wavy, who is out of this race. Well, I will say, I will give the recommendation to Titan how I do think he's race clean enough to where he can give up his qualifying ban to let him race free. However, speaking of racing free, I don't think we have any of that from third on back now. And look at the gap Scyther pulled there on Franchi. I mean, it's almost like he's got a rocket ship under that thing. A 44.8 to next best 45.6 from Franchi, and then Ads. Ads has a lot of pace right there on those softs. So look for him to gain spots on Gagi and even Reese. He's caught up to the back of the pack compared to where he was prior to this. So he could put a lot of pressure now on the rest of the drivers once they do switch over. Also, Beatnik on the back of Franchi now. This is close now because this is DRS range for Beatnik. And we will see Franchi, Scyther, and FBL pitting soon. Frenchie and Scyther continue to stay out. However, Annex is now still close to the back of Choco. Again, he just can't find his way past. I mean, every time Choco's trying to find a way past Mythic or Annex trying to find a way past Choco, he just has to concede the spot in terms of fighting. You know, you want to fight without costing yourself time, but they know if they fight too much, they'll cost each other a ton of time, and it will not help their fight to catch up to Scyther and Frenchie. Here is Choco now, a lot closer on Mythic. Mythic does not have the rear wing open because he doesn't have DRS. Around the outside, can Choco pull it? He slides. There was a bit of contact, and now he's going to lose both places. However, not without a fight. He's going to send it back up the inside of Annex. Can't do it. He can't find a way past. Pitting is FBL and Titan. Considering we just seen FBL pit, we could be seeing our front two pits soon. Oh, was that an MP Motorsport going wide? I think that was Reese right there. Guggy did as well. He followed him. And now that's going to allow his teammate to close in. And his teammate, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I know Guggy wants to fight for points, but your teammate is clearly faster. If you give your teammate the chance to go to 8th, I hate team orders, don't get me wrong, but if you give your teammate a chance to go to 8th, he can really put some pressure toward the back of Reese, and then he'll have the pace once they switch over to the Super Softs to get by. It's such a tricky spot, a tricky track to overtake on, to where I understand the point of views. And Frenchie is the first one to dive to the pit lane out of the Super Soft runners up front. You don't need a speed. He doesn't. Luckily is in. And now he's trying for the undercut. We could be seeing some soft tire runners pit soon as well. And if we do, I mean, how much of a difference does it really make for these guys? Third place in the road. It will technically be a battle for second place now. That Beatnik did close into DRS. And NX is still looking on Mythic, trying to find some time, trying to find a way past. Can't do it. He does force Choco into a mistake, so that is going to allow Reese to catch back up. And NX still trying to look a way past Mythic. He's now a lot closer. He's now got his car right there around the outside. He is not going to be able to do it. NX, I notice, you know, you look at a lot of the drivers who joined RPL, you look at, you know, a race winner like him, he is very, very smart with his racecraft. I really think if you put him in a top car in Tier 1, he can put the fight to Scyther. Look at what he did last week in an AlphaTauri! Whoa! Choco out of nowhere sent one! And he's through! How did he do that? Well, not without consequence because, I mean, he did come into the side of Vanex right there. His tires are starting to wear off because that slide was extremely dangerous. And a very extreme one, too. Here we go. Annex looking back up the inside, trying to force him into a mistake. Can't do it. Scyther continues to stay out here. And it is Annex pitting. Trying for an undercut. I think he has seen how long Scyther has stayed out. And he says, hey, I can do that too. In terms of how long he's been able to go in the tires. Adds pits. And will be repairing a better front wing. Even then, a bit of decrease in the pace and still was able to keep up there. Well, there you go. Yellow flags. That's at the back of the field. However, Choco now heating up for third place on the road. Can he go through? Oh, he's in a mistake. He slides. Titan gets a penalty, and now Reese goes through. He does bang wheels with Choco in the time being, and Choco almost touches him into the barrier. However, Reese has the inside line for the next corner, sends it. Choco switches back. Inside line for the next corner. They continue to fight it out. Back and forth between these two as they exchange the spot side by side at a corner you don't usually go side by side at. Again, they lock wheels. That's what Choco needed to go ahead. Just needed to lock wheels a little bit. Force him into that error. Oh, Reese does slide. Nothing serious from it, though. And this is important to mention, Franchi ahead of Annex by a long margin. That gap was around 2 seconds before compared to where they were from Beatnik. 3 seconds now. However, Annex on the fresher tires make everything from it. That's all you can ask for if you're the driver or team. And FBL with a penalty. Scyther continues to stay out. 9 laps now on those super softs. He's trying to extend it so he can make the most he can on those soft tires. I really think that's what he's doing. Chaco pits. Oh, he slides into the barrier. Luckily, he's still in this race, but he has the penalty at the expense of it. And he's now out in the pit lane. Oh my goodness. Was that a rage quit? Okay. This could be an issue with him stopped at the pit lane. I want to check because there's usually a glitch with him stopped at the pit lane like he was. I don't think there is any issue from it, luckily. Wow. Well, quest for your first win, that's over. That is over. FBL now out in the pit lane. It's our 4th retirement. Waiso does have damage, but he comes out of the pit lane inside the point still. Over Titan. Annex on the back of Franchi now really heating him up for net P2. Annex on the fresher, better tires. More yellow flags. Nothing too severe, that is, but Annex is still trying to find a way past. He's a lot closer this time. Can he send it? Yes, he can. Down the inside. Franchi has to contest the place. He does. And Annex goes through. Franchi going to still challenge back without the DRS. Can he do it? No. And Scyther finally pits. Where does he come out? Very big we're going to be watching for where he does come out. Very big to this race. Everybody but Beatnik is in. Mythic's in, Reese is in, Goggy's in. Goggy has a chance for a lot of points on his name today. Liam is in. Goggy doing this after a qualifying ban, and here is Scyther out of the pit lane. Annex right there behind. You can see him now compared to before. 2 seconds now. This is the battle I've been waiting to see. Annex and Scyther. Fastest lap for ads. Where does he go compared to the undercut? He's not ahead of Blue Goggy, so I guess in terms of repairing that front wing, he lost time. But the good thing is he's now at full force. Reese on the back of Mythic. Everybody's just about spread out now except for the battle for net P1. And where does Beatnik come out compared to this as well? He wants to make the most of those super softs. I feel like we're on F1 2018 with seeing the super softs, honestly. Franchi now in the back of Annex, and Annex is a lot closer now to Scyther, and I think Franchi lagged back there. I was gonna ask if he lagged out of the session, and it just hasn't shown up yet, but that's not the case. Beatnik is in for his mandatory pit stop, meaning everybody has pitted. Chaco is so frustrated. It's so heartbreaking. He was so fast in this race. I mean, obviously he had a self-spin in the barrier there, but lagging out in the sprint race. I mean, he could have been on for the victory. He really was the only one who could have put the pressure there on Annex, but he just couldn't do it. Beatnik comes out, and he is behind Franchi and ahead of Mythic for the time being. Is he still ahead of Mythic, though? Yes, a long margin. So now he's going to try to fight up toward Franchi on those soft tires, maybe even Scyther, and make it a Carlin double podium. Annex now in DRS. Here we go. The reigning champion Scyther, and now our first repeat winner of the season, gonna be duking it out for the race victory. Reese again on the back of Mythic. Reese looked to the inside, had to back out, and now trying to fight this once more. We're gonna switch back to the race lead in a moment, but my gosh, this battling is really good and really intense. Reese is having a look here. Unbelievable. He actually forced Mythic into a slight mistake right there. He could have easily given up the spot. He didn't. Interesting. Can Scyther hold on? Is he going to hope for those super softs to wear off? And do they wear off in time? And would he be able to make a late charge if Annex does get by when they do wear off? I mean, it's just inevitable that Scyther gets overtaken, but the moment, or the moments that I guess Scyther is holding up Annex, it does invite Frenchie into the fight, as he does have a penalty. So Beatnik now on the podium when penalties do get applied. Not close enough. Reese is close enough to try to find something on Mythic to get past. Can Reese go through for position? He's closing the gap. Inside line. Titan with a penalty. Side by side between them. Black and orange. Orange and black. Whatever you want to call it with these two cars. One's a VAR. One's an MP. They're both cars that are top 3 in the championship. However, MP Motorsports, who's won 2 races, with Annex being one of them now, is ahead with Reese. DRS once again between these guys. This battle continues to heat up. A track that's solely based on track position a lot is really coming into Scyther's favor. Beatnik as well on the back of Frenchie, trying to heat him up. He wants his fair share to get to the top 2 in their battle for the lead. It's just a matter of time if Beatnik can get by Frenchie. Blue Goggy with a penalty. He runs 7th. It would only drop him down to 8th, but still an impressive run for the Malta driver. I say an impressive run. He hasn't had points in consecutive races, or not even consecutive races, I would even say 2 races in a season back-to-back. Well, not even back-to-back. More than 1 race in a season, right? He hasn't had points like that, I think, since the last time he scored points back in season 16. I'd have to fact-check that, but it's been a while since Guggy scored points twice in the same season. He needs a lot to have happen. And Beatnik went by Frenchie there, as you saw, as well. Annex is still within DRS, but time is running out to get by Scyther. He's actually out of DRS now. Are those tires starting to wear? Did he pit a lap too early? Scyther was able to do very well in the super softs, in fact, to be able to hold what he's got and have the tires come to him eventually on the run. And I think he's had that happen now, is Annex finally out of DRS. Beatnik as well can now put the pressure on Annex, because if Annex does get the penalty for track limits here, Beatnik would make it a Carlin 1-2. We'd see back-to-back 1-2s, in fact, in a third different time on the game cycle. How impressive would that be? So, 3 laps to go. Most of the field spread out now. Reese now taking the fastest lap. Reese on those super softs, proving he has a lot of pace in him. Look at the drivers now in the 44s now that we have drivers on the Super Softs. Beatnik a 44.3. NX a 44.5. Reese a 44.2. 44.2 from Ads. Ads still has quite a bit of pace there. Like I said, if Blue Doggy had actually let Ads go there, I really do think there would have been a lot that could have changed in terms of that battle, because Ads comes into this race leading the championship now. Annex gonna close in that gap in the championship as well. I mean, it's not like he takes over the championship lead, but with how fast Annex is in terms of his first 2 weekends of RPL action, I mean, you gotta work tactically. Reese almost coming to collision there with Franchi. You can see Annex now falling outside of 2 seconds now as Beatnik also closes in. I guess Annex tried to push a little too much, and it's cost him time, and it's really cost him the gap to Beatnik. And here we go. Speaking of costing time, Franchi's done it to himself. The penalty to spare, and now Reese in the back of him. MP Motorsports extremely needs this in terms of passing VAR, and it would be ART at the top of the table in the championship. Carlin also up there as well, both drivers as well, so this would be crucial for them. And I think Reese will have DRS this time. Mythic will too, it looks like. Mythic might have got there just before the detection point. He did. And Reese, following in the slipstream, pulls to the outside line on Francie. Reese gonna hang it around the outside, right on the curb, right to the limit. Inside line still for Francie. He almost hooks it right there with a little slide, and now that invites Mythic through on the inside line here. Inside line Franchi will have for the next corner. Mythic around the outside does hold on. They almost come together. It is Mythic ahead. And you can see NX falling outside of 3 seconds. Well, Scyther's first race weekend, so no surprise. He's back on him, but could it really be a title fight between Scyther and Annex if Scyther continues to show up through every race this season? Scyther does have a little bit of attendance issues, so there is that concern in terms of a championship fight. Could be Ads, could be Scyther, could be Annex. Whatever it is, we're all here for it. Beatnik, almost a mistake right there in the back of Annex. Beatnik trying to get by to make it a Carlin 1-2. Would be the second team this season to make it a 1-2. Would be the third on this game cycle. Prema and MP, the only other two to do so. Speaking of that, MP trying to hold on to P2. This Titan pits, comes out, trying to go for fastest lap. He won't be lapped in this race, it looks like. Wow. Well, we've had a race on our hands, no doubt about it. But I guess it looks like the driver who starts in the front row for the feature race likely will come out with the win. Annex slides, forces Beatnik to go the long way around now. Shows him the inside line here. Beatnik's going to try to run the outside. They do touch. Annex trying his best to hold on, but he knows he's absolutely abused those tires. He slid out of turn 4 there. And now Beatnik is ahead to make it a Carlin 1-2 on the road. And with the penalties as well. Funny enough, Annex actually got the DRS right there, and he's going to fight this back without a contest. Surely without one, he wouldn't fight this. But with a contest, he just can't get by. We won't have much post-race action due to the sprint race for F1 being exactly right after this. It is literally right after this. If we'd started 10 minutes earlier, we would have been okay, but beside that, I think we're fine. The good thing is we only had the one VSC. None of the drivers brought out a safety car, so we're lucky right there. Ads and Blue Goggy, both teammates going at it. Blue Goggy, oh, they touch wheels. And Ads is ahead, but Blue Goggy wants some more even with the penalty. Is he gonna send one on his teammate? Okay, he doesn't. Good thing. Good thing he didn't. Well, Scyther returns to F2. And your champion is going to be back on top. A 7th different winner on the season. A 7th different team to win on the season. Your champion, Does it in style. Back on the top step of the podium. He wins the Singapore Grand Prix with Beatnik to make it a Carlin 1-2. And Annex rounds out the podium. Reese makes it an MP3-4. Mythic is 5th. Franchi, and then adds. Titan with a penalty there in the end. Trying to go for fastest lap. Blue Goggy is off. But he does finish in the points for the second time this season. Fair play to Blue Goggy, getting in the points. A driver who has tons of pace, struggles to finish races, finally can finish 2 good races in a row. Liam, as a reserve, back in the points. With Waiso being out, it might make Titan the last points runner in this race. And Titan trying to go for fastest lap. Scyther, Beatnik, Annex, your top 3. Can Titan get fastest lap? Over the rest of the competition? No. 7/10 of an improvement though, so he knew he had more pace in it, which was good, but not enough. And there's your podium celebration from the top 3. Scyther, Beatnik, Annex. And they spray the champagne. Now we go to your results very quickly. Here are your overall points from the weekend. Adds fears he's not going to keep on to the championship lead. Well, I have good news. He does keep to the championship lead here. Here are your final results. Fastest lap going to Reese there in the end. Tier 1 is later today. We are at Singapore as well for the action. Titan and I will be on commentary. Make sure you tune in for then. As for next week in F2, we head to Portimao. The event there was canceled last season. However, this season, we get attempt number 2 at it. And hopefully this event is not canceled. Those are your final results from the Grand Prix, the sprint race and the feature race. Annex winning the sprint race, and Scyther winning the feature race, back on top in RPL. Your champion does it again. Catch us later today for Tier 1 at Singapore. Catch us next week for Tier 2 at Portimao. I'll bring you the action next week for Portimao. Titan and I will bring you the action for Tier 1 later today. And until next time, have a good one, and goodbye.